back to the channel. It's amazing how now people are starting to believe you when you say playtime is over. In times past, of course, people would call you a fearmonger, saying that you are trying to scare people and you're not being realistic, and they would never let that happen. I remember we were talking to one fellow years ago about some things that we saw and knew that were going to happen because of biblical prophecy. We were talking to this fellow about it. He said they would never let something like that happen, talking about the government. And I said to myself, man, that guy got a whole lot of faith in what the government is able to do. So he really think that they can stop biblical prophecy. The Bible said this stuff is going to happen, but he said they, the government, would never allow something like that to happen. And so now that we see a lot of things happening that many have been warning about for years, you have people now saying, man, it's right in our faces now. So I'm going to be talking about those who are locked out of the American dream. It's now become the American nightmare. The so-called American dream has become the American nightmare because too many people allowed themselves to get caught in a rut and believing that things were always going to be a certain way, thinking that there was always going to be a way out or a way made for them based on promises that were made in the past. Now they are seeing that that is just not the case. You can't always go out now and just buy a home with $50,000. There used to be a time where $50,000 could get you a decent home. Now rewind back to the times where $3,000 could get you a decent home. Now that era is long gone, right? Long gone. But it wasn't too far in the past to where $50,000 could get you a decent home. That's not too far in the past. But to find something like that now would literally be a miracle. A miracle. Now you can certainly find something for $50,000, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a fixer-upper. Okay? Nothing wrong with fixer-uppers if you can do that kind of work. But if you don't know how to do that kind of work and you don't have the money to put into fixing up, it can still be a nightmare for you. But see, the problem is, the reason why I'm saying locked out of the American dream, oh my goodness, is because you have those who still believe, they still believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel. They still believe that somehow they're going to achieve certain things. Honestly. And I say honestly because a lot of people who have things sold their souls. So that wasn't an honest gain for them. So don't always look at these celebrities and all these rich and famous folk and these sports athletes and all of this. Don't always look at them, these musicians and singers. Don't always look at them and think that what they've gotten came about because they were doing the right thing. It's not about doing the right thing for some of them. Some of them are doing the wrong thing. But see, this next generation is in for a rude awakening. They are in for a rude awakening because they are still being sold a bill of goods. They are still being told that this is possible and that's possible. You even have young people who are having college education, getting educated, university, years and years going to school, only to come out and find that the jobs that were promised are not there. Or should I say, the lifestyle that was promised is not there. Because right now, there are a lot of jobs available. So let me rearrange that and re-unpack that, because there are a lot of jobs available right now based on what they're saying. But guess what? The jobs that are available are not the kind of jobs that could afford you a certain lifestyle. It used to be a time but college education guaranteed you a certain lifestyle. But now you might get a job, but you just might not get the job that you even studied for, right? You might get a job, but you just might not have enough income coming in from that job to afford yourself a piece of the American dream. The American dream, many are being locked out of the American dream, and that dream has now become the American nightmare, where young people more and more are having to depend on their parents, their grandparents, or other family members to just survive. No longer can they expect for that education to provide for them the kind of lifestyles that their parents have. The housing market is so crazy. I challenge every last one of you under the sound of my voice. I want you to do this experiment. Do a search in areas that you would be interested in living in, and see what you can find for $50,000. Like I said before, $50,000 used to be something that could get you a decent place. Of course, there was a time period where $50,000 could have gotten you a nice place, a really nice place, but those days are long gone, right? But then there was a time where $50,000 could get you a decent place. Now, I challenge you to go and see what $50,000 could get you now. See what it can get you now. Look in areas that you're interested in, of course. Areas that you are interested in. Don't go and look at some backwoods where you might be able to get. And I mean, even with that, it is a challenge to get something decent or to purchase something decent for $50,000, especially if it's sitting on some land. But I challenge you to go and see what you can find out there, because a lot of people don't even realize that they are locked out of the American dream, now the American nightmare. Now, of course, when I speak of the American dream, y'all, I know that there's really no such thing as that. Okay, so no need to load my comment section with all of that. All over this planet has become a nightmare. Okay, all over this planet. No place is off limits. I would say that some places are better than others. There are some people who live on some of these islands who have gotten used to a certain lifestyle, who I feel have it pretty good, because they've gotten used to a certain lifestyle. They've gotten used to caring for self and growing their own food and doing certain things on their own without all of the bells and whistles that many have gotten used to. So some of them don't even feel like they're living in poverty. They feel like, hey, this is life. I got a roof over my head. It might be a small roof, but it's there. I got food that I'm growing. I have livestock I'm raising. I have everything I need to be comfortable. So some of these people don't feel like you feel when you say they're living in poverty. Some of them feel very comfortable with their situation because they have their needs met, right? But those who have bought into the whole idea of the American dream are now experiencing the American nightmare, because what they thought was within reach, especially because some may have gotten an education and they're finding out that it's not the case, what they are finding is that what they have bought into was all a lie. Young people, 10 years from now, what is your life going to look like? And I'm talking about those who want to do something honest for an honest life. Not those who are willing to do criminally minded things to get ahead. But realistically, what does your life look like? What do you think your life is going to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? We'll even take it up to 20 years from now. 20 years from now, what do you think your life is going to look like? If you have a lot of question marks popping up in your head, then you've got work to do. You're failing your own self. And I say this because none of us can afford to look to anyone else at this point for our own survival. The only one that you can look to is the Most High, our Creator. He tells us to set our affections on things above, right? He also says if we delight ourselves in Him, He will give us the desires of our heart. He also tells us to not fret over the things that we cannot change, but to trust Him, trust His word, trust His promises. He said he will keep us in perfect peace if our minds are stayed on him. But if you're trying to get any type of dream, whether it's the American dream, the African dream, the British dream, the Asian dream, the South American dream, the Canadian dream, any dream that you're trying to get without the Most High, you can pretty much hang it up. Because there is no life without him, period, regardless of what you have. Because the Bible also tells us that a man's life doesn't consist in the abundance of things which we possess. But anyway, the challenge is open. I challenge you to look around, see what you can find for $50,000. See what's out there. Then you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, done with this video. Say what you must in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm out.